I want to touch again from a different perspective, though, this time, on the absurd madness of this net zero and green agenda, because this is absolutely critical to our future. In a surprisingly honest article by the ABC, West Australians have been warned that the state's major electricity network provider needs to spend $9 billion over the next 5 years to go to net zero, $1 billion more than originally assumed, $9 billion. The worst part, you'll be paying for it. Network, or poles and wires, costs typically account for up to half your average electricity bill. And unfortunately, the situation is no different on the East Coast. Last week, Matt Rennie, a partner at the Brisbane-based renewable energy consultancy Rennie Partners, said, and I quote, "There is a cost to climate change." And it means, you're not told any of this by Albanese and Bowen and those fools. He said, and it means there's a cost to global electrification. He said these costs can't be avoided. I just don't think it's well appreciated by the average consumer, the very extreme nature of this transformation. What this man Rennie doesn't admit is that the extreme nature of this transformation is already being felt. According to new data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Australia lost 121,500 manufacturing jobs in the year to August. 121,500. Yep, you heard that correctly. In the last year, we lost 121,500 manufacturing jobs in this country. Meanwhile, the average price of power in New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania and Victoria increased by over 220% during that same 12-month time period. This is not a coincidence, and heads should be rolling, but they aren't, of course. My prediction is that when the situation gets as bad as it is in Europe, some heads will have to roll. Think about it. In the continent that kicked off the Industrial Revolution, 70% of fertiliser production has been halted due to soaring gas prices. So expect food shortages in Europe by Christmas. Switzerland's Environment Minister has suggested that her citizens have showers together to reduce power consumption. I'm sure Joe Biden would be excited about that. Countless steel blast furnaces have been shut down. Who in politics is even digesting this, let alone advising the electorate? Countless steel blast furnaces have been shut down due to high power prices across Central and Eastern Europe. This means Europe will import more Chinese steel made using coal-fired power, and we supply the coal. In fact, the situation is so bad in some parts of Europe that many have resorted to illegally chopping down century-old trees in national parks to heat their homes and cook their food. This is the green revolution our politicians and elites have signed up to. Let's hope the pain and suffering Europe will feel over the coming winter will wake this country up to the simple fact that net zero is nothing more than a suicide note for the West and a blank cheque for the Chinese Communist Party. I've said it many times, but when I'm sick of saying it, someone out there might listen.